Well, hello there, everybody. It is Stefan, the least popular, the least famous, the least successful foreign tarento in Japan, represented by Yoshimoto Kogyo, the biggest, largest entertainment conglomerate in the country. But don't let that stop you. Anyways, welcome to another edition of Line News, the segment, I guess. I don't know if it's gonna be daily or whatever. But the segment where I check out what are the top leading trending stories on my Line News app. This is August 9th, 2022. I'm taking the news stories from around 12:30 p.m. Japan time. And once again, I'm not sure if these stories are catered to me exactly via the algorithm, the great algorithm in the sky, or if this is just the same news that everybody else is getting. So just got to get that caveat out of the way. Anyways, let's take a look. So as you know, there's like a whole row of like breaking news stories on the top of the screen, and then another row of like, you know, big old boxes on the bottom of the screen. You can keep scrolling through to get more stories. And then, like, sandwiched in between those two, like, nothing burger, you know, empty calorie buns, you got, like, the actual meaty news stories. But since this is Stefan and I am in the entertainment business, I'm guessing all my news stories are meaningless entertainment fluff pieces, such as the top story today, which is Naka Riisa. She's an actress and a model, got tattoos, quote unquote, in Los Angeles. So Naka Riisa, she's an actress, model person, but she moved to LA. I don't know when this happened. This is probably back when I was in the States. She moved to LA, and so she posted a picture of herself on Instagram with a bunch of new tattoos all over her back and her body and everything. Which is, of course, not exactly common in Japan, although it's getting less of a thing now than it was, say, like 10 years. Even like back, like when like Nick and I were first starting the podcast, we had to talk about like how Nick's tattoos have to get covered up for news, for like TV shows and stuff. I'm sure that's probably still the case, but it's not as much of a thing now. But anyways, it turns out, well, I guess we should have known this, that it wasn't an actual tattoo. She was promoting Inkbox, which is a natural temporary. Okay, so it's a 2-week. It's like henna, pretty much. It's a 2-week temporary organic tattoo company. So yeah, it's henna. I don't know why someone just rebranded henna to appeal to non-Indian people, apparently. But she's been living in LA, and apparently she likes living in LA. So she pretty much just says that she moved to LA to, quote unquote, find herself as an actress, and find the real Riisa, which apparently involves getting sponsored by temporary tattoo companies. But anyway, so she says that she's enjoying LA. She can get anything she wants on Amazon, and she's driving cars everywhere and learning how to use the highway system. And she says that she has Uber Eats, and she doesn't have to speak English to survive, apparently. So yeah, that is Naka Riisa's latest update. This is really like a nothing news day, at least in terms of what I'm getting for my algorithm. So moving on to the next story, Yuji, the talent, he's like a half model talent person, got a new Bentley, which is apparently something he posted on Instagram. Apparently all the stories that I'm getting today are all just involves people aggregating Instagram posts. But apparently he got a new Bentley. It's a Ventega? I don't know how to say it. I'm looking at the Japanese katakana. I have to look that up. It's a Ventega. So he put a picture of it up on Instagram, and then he had to put a video up on YouTube about him buying his car and reviewing it, which is what people do. That's one of the weird things about coming back to Japan after a year away and trying to get back in the swing of the entertainment industry here. Everybody in like that year that I was in America, every single comedian or talent or like C-lister started their own YouTube channel. So now there's like just like thousands of YouTube channels of varying content in Japan, which is the same in America, I should say. But it's like established like stars, entertainers, all getting in on YouTube at once, and it's weird. So they also say, I don't know why this is relevant to the story, but Yuji got married in 2014 to an ippan jose, a normal woman, and he has 3 kids, which is news apparently for some reason. So then there's like a list of like the actual little news stories like sandwiched in between the rows and rows of stories that don't actually matter. But we'll get to those in a second. But let's move on to the bottom here with story number 3, which isn't Instagram related, which is nice. It's a nice change of pace compared to the first 2. But it is kind of dumb. So Ryusei Ryo, who's currently on NHK's Asadora Chimu Dondon, which I haven't seen. Asadora are pretty much just like soap operas. It's just like a full like half-year long, 15-minute per day soap opera. Normally it's focused on like a young woman or whatever living her life, and then something, antics ensue. And some of them get pretty popular, and others of them, most of them just kind of fade into the ether after like a week after they go off the air. But anyways, Ryusei Ryo is going to be on a primetime drama for Fuji Terebi next January. So Fuji TV is one of the 4 big, or 4, I guess. No, 5 big news or public networks in Japan. The drama is going to be based on the manga StandUPStart, which I've never heard of before. I'm not sure what it is. If you know what it is, leave a comment, or I don't know, yell at me or something. I've never heard of it. I guess it started in 2020, so it's a pretty new drama. It's a pretty new manga, but he's apparently going to be the star of this new show. So that'll be interesting. And it's a primetime show, so it'll be between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. I don't know why that needed to be said. But yeah, that's his story, and that is one of the 3 top stories. The next story, the 4th of the pictured stories you can see on the Line app, is quite simply another Instagram story. I really don't know why I could just see this on Instagram myself. I'm not sure why Line News decided to focus on this today. But Lalando's Saaya, so Lalando's a Owarai kombi, they got kind of big after getting like the semi, or it was like the quarterfinals of the M1 Grand Prix, the Manzai contest. And they're independent, which is kind of rare for just in general in show business here. But apparently Raran Saaya, she's like the boke for this kombi. She got piercings. Once again, this is like another fake. I don't know why we have 2 fake out stories here today. But so she got fake piercings for a gig, and she posted it on Instagram. So she got like an eyebrow piercing and a nose piercing and like a lip piercing. Fake temporary ones for like a drama gig that she's also directing for Abema TV, which is an online internet network, which I've been on multiple times. Nick and I think that's the first time we actually like met in person. Was it? It might have been before that. I don't know. Anyways, getting sidetracked. She posted it on Instagram, and people said that it made her image look it made her look really different from how she normally looks. And kawarisugite te dareka ka wakannakattan desu, that sort of comments. Like, I didn't know who you looked so different. I didn't know who that picture was of, but it was her. And those are the top 4 news stories from Line News today. Oh boy, we got some real bangers today. But let's take a quick look at the actual news stories that get buried and are left to be only headlines rather than like actual pictures and stuff for you to click on. So the number 1 story remains the weather. Hokkaido and Aomori are seeing dangerous amounts of rainfall. Hakodate in Hokkaido, which is like it's like the biggest city in South Hokkaido, the second biggest city in Hokkaido in general, saw record-breaking rainfall. Yeah, it's not good. There's just lots of rain. There's like every single, like the news here is just like 10 minutes of COVID stuff and 10 minutes of like flooding coverage and landslides and nothing good. It's bad. It's hot here in Tokyo again though. I'm just your daily Stefan says it's hot and miserable update. But yeah, it's hot here again in Tokyo, and that is not good. So moving on to the second of the three headlines that are kind of buried here. They're thinking about criminalizing selling at-home COVID test kits. So I think if you've been living in America, I'm not sure how it is in other countries in America. You know what these are. Like, you know how the American government sent out like test kits, the little ones where you stick the swab up your nose and it's like a pregnancy. It looks like a pregnancy kit almost. And then after 15 minutes, you can see whether you're positive or negative, unless you get a false negative or positive, which is common apparently. But apparently they're thinking about criminalizing selling those kits in Japan, at least right now, just because the COVID cases are still really, really high, and people are taking advantage, and raising prices and everything. And the part of the reason that this is happening is because it's super hard to get a hold of these kits in Japan. In America, like I remember we could just like buy like 5 on Amazon for like pretty cheap, but here it's really hard to get a hold of them. I'm sure you can if you know the right people. So people are once again just like panic buying and panic selling, and it's so they're thinking about criminalizing it again, which is something that's been done in the past. But they're still thinking it's under review, which means it'll probably happen after it matters. So like once like this wave is like done, they'll like say like, oh yeah, you can't sell your COVID test kits anymore, even though it's super easy to get a hold of them at that point. Anyways, the third story, and this is once again not exactly a very exciting one, is the Oedo line, one of the subway lines here in Tokyo, is shut down due to a power outage. They don't say why it's been shut down. This is around 11:30 is when the power went out. Wait, no, what? Apparently, I misread this. So, at 11:18, the power went out across the entire line, and then they started running the trains again at 11:30. So it was like a 12-minute outage, which is probably not newsworthy, but it was today, and they still don't know the cause of the power outage. Anywho, thank you guys once again for listening. You can find us here on this channel, the Small in Japan channel. You can subscribe, that'd be great. Hit that bell button or whatever the hell it is. Hit the like button. I have no idea how YouTube works. Everybody else in Japan apparently does now, but I do not. So anyways, you can find us here. You can send us an email at smalljapanshow@gmail.com. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that when you can just leave a comment on this. You can find us on Twitter, and also patreon.com/smallinjapan. We're going to figure out how to do that again. We're just trying to get back in the swing of things here. So until next time, I am Stefan. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'll see you tomorrow, I guess, if this is going to be a daily thing.